Hello everybody. This video's long overdue actually. It's probably about 10 years in the making. One of my previous videos was called Focal Hand Dystonia, and it's all about how I developed dystonia in this middle finger here. Sorry, I'm not giving everybody the bird. And it meant I had to give up playing guitar for, well, it was about 4 or 5 years, which was obviously horrible. But eventually, the one good thing that came out of the hideous thing that was lockdown is that I decided I was going to try and work my way around my dystonia and see if I could start playing again. Now, I'm an electric rock guitarist, basically. So the first issue I was going to have was with bending. And I always used to bend, obviously, like most of us do with this finger here, the ring finger. And of course, you would normally support it with your second finger, which I can still just about do. But because this finger, the dystonic one, puts so much pressure on the fretboard, it was tending to choke the notes. So the way I worked around that was I actually used, believe it or not, I can use the dystonic finger for bending, a la sort of Gary Moore, who quite often used his second finger for bending. And it seems to work for that, and I can even do a little trill with it. Although there is a kind of twitchiness to it, so I can just about do that. What I can't do is I can't use this finger in conjunction with any of the others, basically. So I can't use, like you might see guitarists using 4 fingers at a time. This one basically stops the fluidity of doing that. So what I essentially resorted to doing, so I could play again, is to just get rid of that finger and kind of hide it, if you imagine it's not even there. And then I learned to play, basically, I learned to develop my pinky. And then I would bring, when I was coming up to a bending, so if I was doing a blues phrase like this, it requires a little bit of acrobatics and hand jumping, basically. Where I can do that kind of half tone bend with the ring finger, and and like a lot of guitarists, I mean, the ring finger and the first finger tends to be the 2 most commonly used fingers anyway. But if I wanted to do a big bend, I would have to bring in the dystonic finger like this. And then jump around with it, basically. But that's the way, essentially, sorry, a little bit sloppy because I've not warmed up or anything. I've just decided to make this on the spur of the moment, as you do. It does make it, I can as well use it for chords, open chords, but there is a little bit of a delay there, because, as I say, this finger is constantly wanting to twitch or to grab on too tightly. But what I have found in the last 2 or 3 years since I've been playing again is it is beginning to ease off. As I say, I couldn't have done that supported bend with the ring finger this time last year, probably because this finger was clamping on so hard. It seems to be easing. Maybe one day. You can see it's still not working properly. Not like that. Okay, and also what it did, it also made me start bending more with my first finger. And getting nice vibrato with that first finger, which I'd never used before. So, you know, there is a way, there is hope for anybody who's out there who's, you know, just wanting to throw their guitar away. And, you know, I threw away, well, I didn't throw it away, I sold it. I sold all my PRSs and stuff like that. But look, hey ho, I'm back in the game. I bought a whole new PRS. This is a McCarthy model. You know, I started off, obviously, I was a bit trepidatious to begin with, and I started off with really cheap guitars again, just till I got into it. And then when I was confident enough that I was playing decent enough, you know, I graduated like a beginner. Basically, essentially, I had to start all over again. But having had the mechanics from 20 years of previous playing, it didn't take me anywhere near as long to start playing to adjust to this as it would, you know, starting from the off without ever having played before. So yeah, the message is, guys, if you're suffering with one of your fingers, with dystonia, and you know you're tempted to just give up, there are workarounds. It looks ugly, you know, and I'm out playing again live, and I've had the odd guitarist come up to me and go, "What, you know, what's going on there with your hand? Why are you hiding that finger below the fretboard? That looks really uncomfortable." And it was uncomfortable to begin with, but again, you know, I don't even notice it now. There's a tale to tell them, you know. There is a tale to tell them, and it doesn't matter what it looks like. Uh, you know, it's all about the end product, isn't it? It's all about the ability to play. Again, look at Django Reinhardt. You know, he only ever had these two fingers, and his hand was hardly attractive, was it? Poor lad had it damaged in a fire. So, you know, and yet still one of the greatest guitarists who ever lived. So, and so on and so forth. All right, guys. So there you go, my little update to a guitarist struggles. I struggle no more, except for a little bit of jumping around. But I'm probably a much better player now than I was before my struggles began. As I say, it's opened up my pinky. It's opened up my first finger. Yeah, and the technique, you know, 3 strings, 3 notes per string, as good as I ever was, if not slightly better. All right, guys. I hope this is encouraging for anybody that's struggling out there. Take care.